Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the GonzoEwok channel with me, Gonzo, for another episode of RimWorld. I believe episode 5 now. All of these episodes, as I reiterated last time, have all been recorded on the same day, so if you have left comments under the previous videos, I will get to them soon, I promise, but I am recording all of these together, mainly just because I've got a little bit of time off. For me, it's still just after the new year. I'm still off work. By the time these videos go up, I'll be right back at work with the rest of yous and thoroughly sick of my life once again. But I'm quite chipper, you know? It's a nice, what day is it? You know that thing when you're on holiday and you forget what day it is? Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. It's the Wednesday just after the new year. So everybody will be on the second day back at work. But I'm off. I'm doing some recording this morning. Me and Ewok are getting together. He's got an early finish in this afternoon, so we can do some KSP. So yeah, we're sitting fairly pretty here. Schroeder, what are you doing? Just having a walk? Just going for a walk, are you? Alright, get to work. Got some bits to dig out here. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the way that the colony's gone here. We got some power up a couple of episodes ago. And then last episode we started digging out some admittedly fairly crap bedrooms, but they're better than what we're sleeping in this little DOS house at the minute. We've got a little kitchen area dug out, got some heel root on the go, got some crops that we've started harvesting, at least we're getting some rice in. Peg Leg Pete, the pirate, attacked with. Pirate wearing a pair of pants with a club and only had one leg. So yeah, a bit of a, I suppose a bit of an easy start really to the game. But yeah, in any event, we shot him to death, we buried him in the sand, we stole his pants, Shiro took his club. The club is shit, and Shiro probably wants a gun, but we ain't got one yet. We've also got this little kind of defensive sandbag arrangement that was set up so people can hop backwards and forwards, and if we do get attacked, the doors are all on this side of the colony, so really, unless people are smart, and sometimes they can be, where they might try and sort of mine through a weak point like here, or maybe through here, generally people are going to try and work their way around if they're trying to attack with here, at which point we've got this nice little defensive perimeter. Elephants dangerously close to the crops. Thankfully, I don't think the game takes into account if an elephant steps on your corn, the corn is ruined, which is a good job, because then we'd have to try and somehow get rid of, what's that, 4 angry elephants, and I don't fancy my chances much on that. But yeah, I think things are working out alright. A few of the colonists are getting to the point where they're starting to get a little bit kind of depressed. They're on the verge of kind of having a bit of a break, like a mental break. Just because, I suppose, the area is butt ugly, let's be honest. I mean, all of the walls are just, you know, hastily chiseled out bits of rock. Floor's absolutely minging, again, raw rock covered in rubble. All of these little random bits and pieces. Well, that's uranium, that's quite handy. Got lots of uranium now. I think you can make tools with uranium. I don't know if you can do anything else with it. I can't see we're being able to build a nuclear power plant anytime soon. What I was thinking about just in my break in between recording episodes is we probably need to get not only these bits finished, get the doors on, get some areas up here. We need a medical facility. I'm thinking about maybe combining that with something like somewhere where we can set up a bit of research. What we could do with getting a research bench together, because I'd like to unlock things like defensive turrets. We can get things like hydroponics. In fact, I can just show you. You can see we can do complex clothing, we can do stone cutting. We've got the basics of electricity and some of the bits here, but I mean, there's all sorts of things that we can be getting on with. We can be doing drilling, we can get microelectrics, auto doors, all sorts of stuff we can get going on, which will be really nice. Passive coolers, I believe, are like Stone Age technologies for chilling down a room, which tribes start with, kind of like using, I think it's like water to, I think like a kind of like a, I forget what you call them, but basically, yeah, that's a, you know, a no electricity way of trying to cool somewhere down, because you could start the game playing as a tribe, and at which point, you know, you'll do things like make pemmican, but you'll not be able to do things like complex clothing. You'll not have electricity, and it would take you a long time to get your hands on it. In any event, while I'm gibbering on here, the mining continues. We'll just speed things up as things are ticking on. Hopefully by the end of this episode we'll have these bedrooms done. Oh, what have we done here? That looks bloody horrible. Alright, you know what? I mean, internal structures are going to be wooden walls. A lot of wood, and that'll look okay. I'm going to leave this as like a sort of a double door, just because I think that'll look quite nice, and then it kind of keeps things spaced out equally. I mean, that looks ridiculous, but you can see you've got a little double door here. We're going to make this the area where we're going to have things like the cooker. We're going to have the butcher's table. We're going to have a table for people to sit down and eat. That's probably going to be something we'll do sooner rather than later. How are we doing for wood? We've got 200. Do need wood for the generator. But, I mean, I'm concerned that the area is so ugly, it is affecting people's moods quite badly. So wood floors aren't the nicest things in the world. That'll use most of the wood up. But we're going to put wood floors down on here. We've got a fair old bit of wood kicking around out here as well, like, to be fair. Wood will continue to grow. So wood is somewhat renewable, providing we don't like completely harvest all of it and then use it all immediately. It will take time to replenish, but it will. As you can see, we'll get the wooden floors down in here, and at least then, if we can put like a table down and some chairs, we can get those built. See, construction's being filled here because people who don't have very good construction skills are trying, so they're kind of wasting materials, unfortunately. But if we can clean this up, shift all this rocks and shit out, put a table down, put some chairs down, we can shift some of this stuff across here. In terms of like a fueled stove, I'm tempted, since we've got electricity, I might just run a conduit down and just have like a proper working electric stove. At the moment we're using about 200 watts of available electricity on here, but we generate about 1,000. So I think it makes sense to have like an electric stove down here as well. But yeah, that might be quite good. And then it just means we've got somewhere where hopefully it's a little bit nicer. Put down a couple of lights, have an area that's well lit where people can sit comfortably at a table, eat a meal, and chill out, you know. That might be quite good for people's overall mood. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. But we'll see what else the game throws at us. I mean, we could have another raid, we could have mad animals, could have anything really. So, okay, we're getting that dug out. Cool. Okay, we've got these ready. Ain't got much wood, but I am going to slap down some doors. Just wooden doors. So that's 25 each. So that's 100 wood that we'll need there. So we will give an order to chop wood. Big batch of it there. Get that all chopped down. See, we're chopping it down there as well. Schroeder's coming across. It helps if it's in my stockpile just to make things nice and easy, keeping it up here. But if there's orders to build stuff and somebody's not helping collect the resources, they'll just go out, grab what they need, come back and start building. Now, Schroeder does have a bit of a track record with failing its construction stuff. Build the door. Go on. You can do it. Did it. Let's go to the work. Who does construction? So, Schroeder. Terrible at it. Not very good at it. Not very good at it. Not very... Right, Schroeder, don't bother with construction because you're doing things like planting. You're helping with collecting in plants and stuff like that as well. So, deconstruct this and reclaim part of its resources. Fueled stove. Yep, we want to do that. We'll get a little bit of steel back. Wooden butcher's table. Deconstruct that. We'll get a little bit of wood back. And then we want to... Fueled stove will take 80 steel. We've got quite a bit of it. Yeah, we're going to chuck this down here. And then what I'll also do, we'll need to be quick on this, but we'll mine this out. So there's a little doorway that leads into the fridge. Shiro, you're wasting wood with your terrible attempts at putting doors up. So we're going to knock this down, and then very quickly we're going to have to build, because of course now all of the warm air from the rest of here is now flooding into a fridge. So what we need to do is get a new door down. Ricky tick. Put that down. Havoc. Build that, like, immediately. Good. Bit quicker though. Oh, bollocks, I built a fueled stove again. What an idiot. And you failed at the door as well. Well, that was just a fucking nightmare, wasn't it? Right, get rid of that. Build a door. There, we've got a door. Right, we'll try that again. What a waste. We go to production. We go to electric stove. Electric stove, Gonzo. Drop that down. We then need some power. Now, power, we can't run it through these stone walls. We could run it through these. What I could also do... I can run it through there. I'm not worried about them being exposed. The conduits do look ugly, so ideally you want to hide them in walls wherever possible. I'm not that concerned though of running it through my stockpile and my fridge. You know, they're not meant to be beautiful rooms, they're functional. If we run it through, hopefully that will let us connect up through the wall into the back of the stove here. So we'll get a stove done. We'll need to get some more components. Got a couple up here. Set that away to mine. We did see... Actually, that's probably a better idea. You know what? Cancel that. We have got some down here. So, it's nice and quick and easy if we just mine these out. Don't worry about that last bit. We'll get some components there, and then as we mine this out, we'll just put some wood walls down, because eventually all of this will be made of wood. It's just it's a bit laborious to have to go through mining all of this out, you know, and then replacing it all. So if we grab those components, it means at least we can get that up and running. What else do we want? We've got a little bit of wood back even after we've built these doors. The beds we can reinstall with things like the butcher's table and the stove. We had to dismantle them completely and then build new ones. With beds, what we can do is we're going to sort of uninstall it, take it apart, shift it across and rebuild it, so we can take those beds without having to dismantle them and put them across here into the bedrooms. We'll get that set up very soon. And you know what, I've had a bit of a change of heart here. Sorry. We're going to cancel that. We are going to be laborious about this, and we're going to run cables down here. Because what I am thinking is I want cables for lighting in each of these rooms. And I'm thinking I can probably do most of that by running it down here, and that'll still allow it to plug in here. So we'll replace this with a wood wall, and then that power cable will come down here, hidden in the wall. Which should be quite nice. Speed things up just while we're waiting for a new day to dawn. But yeah, I think everything seems to be going okay so far. I'm quite pleased with how this colony's turned out. Like I mentioned, I hadn't played any RimWorld for probably about 3 months before the latest alpha hit. And I really enjoyed it. It was kind of one of my highlight games of 2016, even though it's been around a little bit longer. I found it, I think, just after Christmas last year. It eventually, when it came to Steam, been following the game for ages, and I ended up buying it from Ludion's website, and then luckily I managed to get a Steam key afterwards. So it was probably late 2015 when I bought it, and then played a lot of it around the Christmas and the New Year of 2016. Okay, psychic drone. Every colonist of the female gender winces in pain. Some distant engine of hatred is stirring its power, projecting a powerful psychic drone over this entire region on a frequency that only seems to affect women. For a few days, people's mood will be quite a bit worse. So that's going to suck for Lumi, and it's going to suck for Shredder as well. Got needs. Yep, psychic drone, minus 15. You can see mood is looking pretty appalling there. Yeah, I mean, that's not great. Havoc's gotten food poisoning from a simple meal. That's also not good. Health, food poisoning, poor consciousness, will probably vomit all over the place, which isn't ideal. This is what's going to happen, though, unfortunately, when we haven't got somebody brilliant at cooking. And I'm taking the risk now because what I want to do is... Schroeder isn't very good at cooking, but does have a bit of a passion for it, so I want to give her a chance to get her cooking skill up. We have got Lumi, who can cook fine, and that does the trick. Havoc, it's got 3 as well, actually, but Havoc isn't somebody who particularly wants to cook. I'd rather give the opportunities to these 2 guys to let them level up and get better at doing it so they can make better meals in future. Shiro will never go anywhere near a kitchen. I wouldn't let them. Okay, so getting that components dug out, knocking down this wall. I mean, it is properly ugly as sin, this place. And as we're knocking that down, holes. So yeah, this is my idea. As you can see, we'll build a bit of a nicer wall here, and eventually all of the internals here, as I said, will be replaced with wooden walls. Getting the fuel stove up and running, or the electric stove, sorry. Where's Puddles gone? How you doing, Puddles? Bit hungry. Has a bond with Looney. Looney's cat. And has been nuzzling havoc. Bless. Shiro, you tried twice to build that bit of wall and you failed. I'm not happy about that. We've got a construction of 5. How are you feeling at building a wooden wall? I'm not being funny. I'm terrible when it comes to handiwork. For the most part, I like jobbing on bits of DIY. I'm pretty sure even I could knock up something like a wooden wall in a cave. I could at least make something that looked, you know, semi-presentable. I wouldn't certainly destroy the wood in the process. Right, to finish that little bit of wooden wall off. Wood is a bit of an issue, but it's one of the potential dangers of starting somewhere like we're in sort of arid shrubland, sort of deserty, a bit sort of plainsy. If we were playing in a forest or a jungle, we'd have other issues to contend with. However, we would have no issue about the amount of wood that we could get our hands on. So I know I keep setting these orders away. We will revisit the work section. We will start manually prioritising these to get things a little bit better. But as I said, these first half dozen episodes or so are literally just get the basics down, get people set up. We want to reinstall these beds. Try and keep this fairly uniform. So we're moving people out of there slowly. And power. Use a little bit of our steel. As you can see, we can actually run conduits down here, which is nice. So we'll run a conduit down here. It'll not reach this bedroom, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. And I really don't want to have to run a cable like across this bit. You know, nice tripping hazard as you're trying to go into the kitchen. But I mean, we might not have much that we can do about that unless we're like prepared to dig out this and just run another cable pointlessly down to here. I mean, we could run them down in there as well, but maybe hop across here and then down. Yeah, I might have to play it that way. Might have to turn that into wood, this into wood. But you can see we're getting everything set up. Power needed 350. We'll be getting that connected shortly. Power conduits, we just need these last 2 little bits here made up. Shredder, don't use the freezer as a rat run. This is, every time you open the doors, you're letting a little bit of heat in, and that's not what we want. Escape pod. Detected an escape pod crashing nearby. If anyone survived the impact, they'll be badly wounded. You can rescue them and send them on their way, or capture them for recruitment and slavery purposes. Interesting. Perkins, the artist. 26 years old, male space refugee. Bruised to torso and left leg. No other kind of issues. Not carrying anything. Completely naked and bruised. God knows what happened there. So, Kelvin Perkins, age 26. As a youth, he was a child star. As a child star, he won't haul, he won't clean, he won't cut plants, but he's good at art and he's good at social. Conceptual artist as he grew up, became very good at art, very good at crafting, won't do doctoring, wardening, or hauling. He's a pessimist, so he's naturally always going to have a slight mood debuff, and likes to go for a jog, and it can also move slightly quicker. So, won't do dumb labour, caring, social, or hauling. So even though would have had a good social stat, as a conceptual artist, Why won't he do social? Is it because he's a pessimist? Just randomly won't do any kind of social stuff, even though it does have a buff to it. Character needs naked, acute pain, pessimist, feeling bad, low expectations. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kelvin Perkins. You sound like a right dickhead. I know you're a very talented artist. I'm sure the galaxy will lose an amazing talent, but you're not good at anything we need. So you're just gonna have to die out there, frankly. Not anywhere near, are you? Where's our base? There we are. So he's over here somewhere, I think. But yeah, he's just going to have to die in the sand because he looks as though he's just going to hang around. If we were wanting to produce lovely bits of art, which we could then sell, he would be very handy. We don't need anybody like that right now. What we need is people who are prepared to get stuck in and get the job done. Clean shit up, haul shit around, build stuff, grow stuff. That's what we need. He would just be another mouth to feed, and all he wants to do is sit around and do little sculptures and fanny on. Well, there's no place for that. Sorry. Naked people falling out of the sky. If they've got a use, that's fine. If they don't, they die in the sand. So, getting the beds shifted across here. Need a source of joy. Well, we'll work on that, don't you worry, game. We'll get that sorted. Havoc's bringing the bed across. With each of these little rooms, got furniture. Standing lamp. We'll use 15 steel. We'll use a little bit of power. Oh, and that one reaches as well. Perfect. Havoc's spewing up in the kitchen because of his food poisoning. That one will actually reach. That's problem solved for there. Longer term, we will probably expand down a little bit here as well. So we are going to need to remedy that cable situation. I'll have to give that some thought. But we'll chuck a lamp in each of these. Put a lamp there. How far can we get over here? Down there. That way we've got one on either side of the door. I would like a lamp over here as well. Like, it's not ideal and there's no rhyme or reason as to why there should be a lamp there and a lamp there, but we will chuck one down because it will give off a fair bit of light. If we get one there, this is going to be a slightly darker corner. We can make that the party zone. That's like a chill out lounge. We'll build a little party space for them. That's fairly well lit. So as you can see, that's actually not looking horrible right now. How's characters needs doing? Still a very ugly environment. Ain't great. Got a fair bit of wood. Right, we need a source of joy for these guys. They will be getting terminally depressed. This room actually now, I suppose, will serve. Get rid of that. We'll make puddles maybe a space to sleep in the kitchen, I suppose. Because this is a sealed off room, it's got a medical sort of sleeping spot in at the moment. We could set that up and say that's for prisoners, and as you can see, because it's sealed, it's now glowing yellow. If we capture anybody, we can put them in there. If anybody attacks us and we don't kill them outright, we can put them in there. We can then either release them, or we could, I don't know, chop them up and eat them, or potentially we could recruit them to the colony as well if we think that they might have the right stuff for what it takes to be part of Gonzoville. But very much for the time being, yeah, I'll tell you what, get rid of that torch as well. If this is going to be a prison, we don't need to worry about people having light. It will just literally be, I suppose, an oubliette. You just chuck people in there and forget about them unless you want to recruit them. So yeah, sure, we'll take out the lights. What we might do is I might build some little wood dividers and put some doors in there so we've actually got like little prison cells that have just got a bed in. You know, because at some point we will get attacked by more than just like the one peg-legged pirate that we got attacked with a couple of days ago. And there will be survivors from that, so we need somewhere to put them. I mean, we could do what we're doing with that child star actor, artist bloke who's kicking around here. I don't even know where he's lying, frankly. But he's around there somewhere. We could just leave them out to die in the sand, but you know, it's sometimes nice to actually bring people back. Potentially, if you let them go, you can improve your relations with people if you fix them up and then send them on their way. I believe the game has ransoming now as well, and I'm not sure if that's something where you can maybe ransom a prisoner back to another faction. But if we're with, I wouldn't want to do that with, one of the townships or somebody we'll get on with quite well. If they've got anybody injured around here, I'll try and fix them up and help them. If it's a pirate and already hit with them, we might as well try and make a few shekels out of it, Okay, pause the game because we want to put down some bits in here. Bit of furniture. We want a short table, long table. I quite like the idea of a long table. It will use a lot of wood. But, we've only got 4 people at the moment. We might have more in the future. So we'll put down a table. We want some dining chairs. We only need 4 at the moment. I think people will be able to fit by there. But we'll put down those. We're going to need a lot of wood for that. But that means people have got somewhere where they can sit and they can eat. Joy. At the moment, people can either play Horseshoes, that kind of Western sci-fi kind of aesthetic coming through, or we can build a chess table. Fun for a few hours here and there, even playing alone. I mean, we could build a chess table and a couple of chairs. It's going to use a fair bit of wood. Horseshoes, though, is only like 15. So a horseshoes pin. If we chuck one down here, it just means when somebody's got a bit of downtime, they can come out, they can chuck a few horseshoes at this pin, and it'll give them something to do, I suppose. Yeah, we'll just hoy one down there. Nothing really much else going on there. Longer term, we'll want better things. So, I mean, getting stuff like TVs, organising so people can have little parties. There's a billiards table. We ain't got space for any of that right now, but certainly in just terms of getting the basics down, hopefully that should take care of, I suppose, all the basic needs. And then what do we do next from here? I suppose the next thing that we need to start thinking about is maybe getting this area sort of walled off, so we've got a little bit more control about how people come and go to the settlement. Once we've done that, there's a big clean-up we could be doing in here as well. Certainly getting floors, walls and what have you, that's another big project we need to sort out so things are looking a bit more livable. And then, I suppose, we'll start trying to make more, maybe advanced structures, do more with the power system, maybe set up some solar panels and what have you. We'll also probably want to maybe start building out some external structures. I mean, here we've got, that's a limestone wall, which is quite nice. But I mean, we could, something like that, have like little buildings coming off here, outbuildings. Because yeah, this space here rapidly will get filled up. We need something for research, we need something for medicine. I've said that for a couple of videos now. We'll crack on with it. In fact, that's probably a good place to start. Before we start worrying too much about the outside, get all the basics that we'll really want down in here. So, we did mention the idea of running a cable down here. Not a cable, sorry, a corridor. And then if we, I don't like the idea of a hospital being somewhere where if somebody invaded and took out this door could come in, and if we've got anybody laid up in hospital bed, could, just have their wicked way with them. Don't really want that happening. So, what I'm thinking is, chisel that out. Maybe like that. Probably doesn't even need to be that big. I mean, if the beds are maybe 2 each and that's 5 in terms of length, we could fit 2 beds on either side of the walkway in the middle. So we could fit a few beds in there. We could also crack a research station down on there. Now, I'm not crazy. I did say I was going to make the wooden walls. We're going to fill in the bit where we got the components from in there. And there we can see people are actually sleeping nicely in their beds. Isn't that lovely? Well, I mean, it's not. Obviously, the rooms are absolutely jam-packed full of rubble and huge chunks of stone. But they've got lights, and they've got a bed, and they've got a room of their very own. If somebody wants to have a little bit of a fiddle in the middle of the night, they can do that now without worrying about their neighbours seeing. Isn't that lovely? And let's be honest, that's what survival's all about. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. I'm going to end this one here. If you have enjoyed it, you can hit the like button. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, we're also on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Just type GonzoEwok into Google, you'll find it. Thanks very much, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.